Final Generation Ministry here. If you're new to the channel, I'd like to say welcome and invite you to watch part 1 of this 4-part mini-series of Lorna's testimony. Now is the time for part 2 of Lorna's testimony. We hope you are blessed.
One day I was at my workplace, Bell Canada, as I mentioned to you, and telephone company, and I was at my desk and I was doing some work. All of a sudden, I couldn't see well anymore and I feel a bit dizzy. So I ignored it. I said, you like to work a lot. So maybe you just overworked and you're just tired. So I kind of ignored it. I just brushed it away and I went home that day. But the next day I was coming to work, driving to work, and all of a sudden the road, I couldn't see the road anymore. I had to stop because the edge of the road came in the middle and the middle came into the edge. But I didn't know what was going on. And I wondered what happened. How come I can't drive? Because you can't drive with that, but where the road, the middle of the road go to the outside, outside come inside. I found out after because my vision was going because of the illness, but at the time I didn't know. So anyhow, I stopped the car because I could not drive, because I couldn't detect the road. So I stopped the car and I called my husband and told him that I'm having an issue. He came and get me. Okay, I got back home. And after that, things started to go downhill because my muscles begin to get weak. And I went to the doctor. And as I went to the doctor, I saw a neurologist. And they did some tests on me. And they told me that I had something called, but at first they didn't know what I had. They said I had some other disease. But as they did more testing, they confirmed that I had something called myasthenia gravis, which, when they told me that eventually, I didn't know what it was. Myasthenia gravis, I've never heard that name before. But I found out after, months after, we researched that is what is an autoimmune disease. So what happened to me, I went to work, and then one day I came outside and I fell in the street. And it's so foolish as I look back now, because instead of me being concerned about myself, I'm concerned that people might think that I'm drunk. That's how foolish I was. Instead of worrying with what's going with me. Anyhow, I kind of get myself up and I went up to the office. And then from there I started to deteriorate. They had to rush me to the hospital and I could not see. My vision was blurry and I couldn't see well. I could not hold even a pack of sugar that you would buy when you go to buy like tea or so in the tea place or coffee. They will give you a pack of sugar. It was so severe that I could not open a little pack of sugar. I couldn't hold a glass or cup. It would just fall down because I had no coordination. And I realized it was a neurological disease that I had, autoimmune, where the doctor put it simple. He said your body's fighting itself. That's the way he put it to me at the time. The body's fighting itself. So it got so bad that I had to go to the hospital. And I could not walk, I could not talk well, and I could not see because all the nerves in my system gave way. And even in the hospital, it was a miracle because they had to take blood from my system. There's a name they call it, I can't think of it now, where they draw the blood from your system and put in new blood in, because that's what the specialist did. And then they also told me that they wanted to take out my thymus, because they themselves was looking to know what to do, because remember I said before, they did not know what was wrong with me. They said I had some other disease, autoimmune disease. And as I said, later on they found out it was myasthenia gravis. So much so that they did not have any medication at the hospital in Toronto that I was in. I was told after, these things I was told after, the doctor told me that they were the neurologist, that they tried to send to some other town, I think it was London or somewhere, where they had medication, because they said they had nobody in the hospital at that time. Now I know, I'm hearing other people have this myasthenia, but at that time, they had no one at the hospital that ever had myasthenia gravis. So they had no medication for it. So they had to send, he told me, to London, Ontario, somewhere out there to the hospital, and had medication sent to Toronto, where as well as this hospital. So it was a serious illness, and I was able to, after that, not that time, because when you're in a bed, we're not looking to research stuff, we're just looking for them, the doctors to help you. And I remember one of the neurologists said, one of the top neurologists said to me that he has to take out my thymus. He said to me, you have to take out your thymus because you don't need your thymus. He said you don't need your thymus because your thymus serves no purpose. So I didn't know about the thymus that time. I wasn't in medical, so I didn't have family in medical field, but I wasn't. So he told me, but I told him no. And the only reason I told him no is because, again, because my relationship with God. I said to him, doctor, why would God give me a thymus? If you're saying I don't need a thymus, I don't accept what you're saying. Because if God gave me a part of an organ in my body, it has to serve some purpose. He said, no, Mrs. Campbell, they're just there, it doesn't serve. I said, doctor, no, do not take out my thymus. God have made me where I need a thymus. Everything, my eyes, my foot, my kidney, my liver, my pancreas, it serves a purpose. So I'm telling you this to show you, because even though I didn't have the medical and scientific knowledge, because I know God created me and human beings are wonderfully made, He don't make a mistake. We give the thymus. Later on, as the years go on, I did research, the thymus is extremely important. But the doctor told me, the neurologist told me it wasn't important. So anyhow, I remember one time, a couple of days after I was in the hospital, they had to rush me down to emerge. I never found out who this nurse was, but she rushed me down. I was told, all the time I was told this, because I was not myself to really know what's going on. I just felt somebody pushing me. And I found out after that this nurse didn't want to wait because she think I wouldn't have made it. So she herself pushed me down. That's why you have to have caring people in the world. That's why we have to care for others. She pushed me herself into emerge. She not waiting until they come to get me, because she figured I might make it. So she actually was very instrumental. God used her in a mighty way. God always used people around me. So she pushed me down to the emergency room. And all I know, because I helpless at that time, sickly, can't move, whatever, can't move my hand, my foot, nothing, can't talk. But I heard them say in emergency room, we are losing her. Because they always said, I always hear people say, the last thing to go is your hearing. That's what I was told. Well, I know that. I couldn't say anything to anybody, I could talk, but I could hear them saying, we are losing her. Well, thank God I'm here so much years after. God had a bigger plan for my life. Maybe He wanted me to tell a testimony of His love and mercy towards humanity. So He used me, saved me for a purpose. So anyhow, after that happened, they took me up to one of the units. But I must mention here that I got E. coli while I was there for my myasthenia gravis. And he diagnosed me. I developed E. coli. And I found out from one of the doctors there. He told me, he came and whispered in my ear. I don't know why he did it. He just made me an honest doctor. He said, lady, he said, you got E. coli because doctor didn't wash his hands. So I found out, because I had a daughter who was working at that hospital at the time in the lab. And I was talking to her about it. And we found out that what happened is that the doctor he had to put something in my leg. I can't remember the name of the thing that they put into your leg here while I was in the hospital. And while they had it in my leg, they said that when he put it into my leg, he didn't wash his hand. The main thing, he didn't wash it. He went to the washroom and he didn't wash his hand thoroughly. And so when he came there and was putting it into my leg, what happened? Faces were still in his hands, so it went through my system. So I got E. coli, and that made me very, because I was already sick and helpless, and so the E. coli just made it worse. On top of that, I developed a heart problem because I'm already have E. coli, always have an autoimmune disease where I was bedridden, and then now it began to affect my heart. So I told him one time, this is a very, very, I'm telling you, I look back and I could see God's hand in my life a mighty way. I don't know why he would love me so, because I don't deserve the love from God. So I want you to know that if God could do it for me, he could do it for you too. And so what happened is that the doctor there said to me, I said to the doctor, doctor, I do not want to stay here one more day in the hospital. He said, Mrs. Campbell, you cannot go home. You cannot walk. You cannot see. How are you going to go home? He said, you have to stay here till we could tend to you and get in a place where you could be able to move around or something. I said, doctor, I am not staying here another day. I said, because I came here and you told me I have myasthenia gravis. Now I have more disease. I have E. coli and now I have a heart issue. I said, I'm not staying here one day. They said, Mrs. Campbell, a couple of doctors around me, but they said, Mrs. Campbell, you cannot go. And I look back now, it's just amazing. I said, watch me. It shows you the power of your mind. That's why you have to guard your Bible. Say, guard your mind. And I said to myself, I said, Lord, I'm getting up here. And I got up. And I was weak though. I was weak. And I just hold on to the bed. And I started to get up. And I tried to get up. All I hear the doctors yell out and start to call doctors from other bedrooms and other rooms in the hospital. Come! And several doctors, about 6 or 8 of them, came into the room. And they were shocked. Because here's a person who had autoimmune disease, who couldn't walk. Just to stand was a big thing to them. Just to be, I was weak though, but I was still standing. Because I determined I'm not staying in this hospital. Am I going to get a fourth disease? No, sir. And so they surrendered. They said, Mrs. Campbell, okay then. And I just went back to bed and collapsed in bed. They said, Mrs. Campbell, we will send you home then. And we'll just send a nurse to look after you in your home. I said, okay, thank you. And so they sent me home. And then they made me sign a paper. Sorry, they made me sign a paper because I guess they don't want to be liable if anything happened to me So they made me sign a paper that I signed to be released. And so I couldn't sign it. I believe one of my family members signed it for me. And then they sent me home, and then they had a nurse that came there and was taking care of me and stuff. I was so thin. I lose a lot of weight until I was like a stick, thinner than I am today. And so I was home there for a while and so forth and so forth. And the nurses would come and take care of me and everything in the bed. And I had some challenges there because my husband, I had some issue with him. And so that didn't help me either, being in that condition, just made things worse. So anyhow, the nurses would come, as I said, and took care of me and so forth and so forth. And by the power of God, after a few, I was off from the job of Bell Canada for 5 years. I was off for 5 years. And they gave me no problem because they know it's a serious disease. In fact, I should mention to you right now that Onassis, he is a billionaire, a Greek. He's dead. He's a Greek billionaire. And he was married, you would know him, he was married to Jackie Kennedy. JF Kennedy's wife, after he was assassinated, she married him. And I'm here to tell you today, I just want to show us where I said, don't focus on me, focus on God and what he has done and what he can do for you. He died. I didn't know. I found out by researching. At that time, I didn't know that. I didn't know he died. But years after, I was just looking at the line with my stenographer and doing research, and I found out that he died of my exact disease. He died, they said, of my. You could go online and check it out. His name is Onassis. He died of myasthenia gravis. Imagine that. He is a billionaire. So if it took money to save anybody, he should be saved and I should die. That's why you know it's not to do with any human effort. Yes, we have to thank doctors and nurses and everybody for doing their part. But I'm here to tell you it's more than just human or scientific. Because he should be, he got the best care. He's a billionaire. He gets the best care. And he died. And when I read that, that was years after, I was amazed. It just made me know more. God was showing me more. His power. And I'm here to tell you it's all about God. Yes, he died of myasthenia gravis. And some other famous people too, movie stars and stuff I found out, also died with my disease. I'm an ordinary woman. And God saved my life. So you know it had to be God. Yes, he used human agents to help, but ultimately he has the last word. And so it just amazes. Up to now, just talking about it, it amazes me that I was able to get it. So I was off for a couple of years, and they put me on something called Mestinon. And the doctor told me, go home. He said, you stay home, and this is this is your life. You just go home, and you wouldn't be able to walk again, and you wouldn't have any movement in your hands and your feet, whatever. I said, doctor, are you telling me at 40, I was 40 something, are you telling me that this is my life? I'm in the prime of my life, working now, hoping to put away something so I could have a pension. When I get older, I could have a pension or something. And you telling me that this is my life? He said, yes, Mrs. Campbell, this is your life. And I said to him, he gave me this Mestinon and prednisone. And the prednisone was given to me in very high dosage. You see, I didn't know, you don't know these things. Apparently, it gives you other issues. But when you're sickly like that, you can't worry to what you're just trying to live at that time. You're not worrying what will do to you. You're not even researching. You don't have time to think about researching. You're just trying to get through your illness and don't die. And so they gave me high doses of prednisone, and they gave me high doses of Mestinon. But the prednisone were the ones I found because that was a medication that they would give people for different issues like that. When nothing else will work, they give you prednisone. So anyhow, I said to him, doctor, I am not seeing you again. Don't come to see me. I'm not being brought there to see you, because I don't want anyone to tell me that this is my life, at the prime of my life. I say, I'm going to find a doctor. I didn't know how I will, but I just have to trust God. I said, I will find a doctor who believes that I can walk. I said, you are telling me I can't walk. I don't want to have any come back here again. And I look back and I look back now on it, as I'm older now. I was really too bold. And I look back at it, I say, you telling a neurologist who's so well known and renowned, and you telling him that you don't want to come back to him because he cannot tell you that you can walk. I said, no doctor, I'm not coming back to you. And I never went back to him. Actually, I had someone call, a family member call to look for another doctor, and they got another doctor. And this is another neurologist. And when I spoke to him, he said to me, Mrs. Campbell, I said, doctor, I said, doctor, do you think I'll be able to walk again? He said, yes, Mrs. Campbell, I believe so. I said, you are my doctor. You are my doctor. Because if a doctor don't believe you can walk, he would not be able to help, because it's all about having faith. And if he don't have faith already, he's not going to be doing the thing that will help me anyway. So I said to him, you know what? You are my doctor. I will go with you, because you tell me I will walk again. So the doctor said, as I said before, the doctor said that yes, Mrs. Campbell, he said, I will help you. He said, but you have to listen to your body. And that's a powerful thing to say, listen to your body. Your body tells us sometimes what's wrong, but then we continue pushing ourselves or doing things that the body tells us we should not do. We are wonderfully made. That's kind of what God made us, wonderfully made. When the body tells you, when you have pain, when you have something going wrong with you, the body says, no, stop doing this, because this is not good for me. I don't want this in my body. If you're eating certain foods, the body tells you, no. So be happy that your body tells you if you're acting bad to certain thing, because that's the way God made us, so our body could regulate itself. So anyhow, I went with this new doctor. Never went back to the doctor again, and the neurologist again. And so from there, I was off for quite a few years. I was doing better, I improved better, I was doing better. I had some hiccups along the way where I thought I went back and not doing too well, but I was doing better overall. And one thing I felt, faith without work is dead. Because yes, I had faith, but I had to do some work. Because just having faith in God is not going to work. The Bible says faith without work is dead. So I remember getting a juicer that my family gave me, and I started to juice, because I heard a testimony. That's why testimonies are powerful. Of a man, they call him Juice Man, because that's how he named the juice. He was given a prognosis to die in 6 months, and he came up with this juicer. And I know last time I followed him, 11, 12 years after the doctor said he had 6 months to live, he was still alive. In fact, he had a child. That's how well he did. And so I started juicing every day. Carrots and beets and celery, and I used to put an apple in the juice every day, juicing, and different greens and stuff, juicing. Every day I would juice, every day juice. And when I saw the doctor asked me, are you taking the medication? Well, I had a choice. I could tell the doctor, doctor, yes, I'm taking it, so he doesn't get upset with me. Because he told me that I cannot, I don't know if I mentioned to you, but the doctor said to me, go home, this is my life. Take this medication. When I asked him, is this my life? Doctor said, yes, you go home and this is the rest of your life. To be like this is it. In the bedroom, in other words. And so it's just amazing. Again, amazing how God is. Amazing how God is. So yes, so I was juicing, and as I said daily, and I changed some of my diet. Diet is very, I can tell anybody, not arguing with anyone, but I can tell you, changing your diet is one of the most powerful things. Yes, God will heal, but He won't heal you if you're doing your own and not listen to Him. In the book of Genesis, God put us on a plant-based diet. And He also said He makes herb for the healing of the nation. That's the one who created us. He knows what our body needs, what's best for our body, because He's the creator. Like you have a car, you don't put what gas you want in your car. You put what they tell you, what oil to put in the car, how to treat your car, because they made the car, so they know. The same thing with God. He's the creator. He created our body and knows best for us. So anyhow, I kept juicing. I changed my diet and everything. And of course, exercise is very important. But I couldn't exercise. I used to do gardening. I love gardening. That's one of the saddest times in my life too. Not only because of the sickness, but because I couldn't garden. I just would sit on a chair, put on a chair, and I would look outside. But I could not go into the garden at the time. I couldn't go, because of course I can't move around, can't go to them. So yes, and so I got better, little by little got better. And it took me about 5 years to really be in, where I could function. I wanted to go back because once I felt good enough, I wanted to go back to work, but my company said no. Your sickness, your illness is too, doctor said of the Bell calendar, he said no, the sickness is too serious. I can't let you come back to work. So I had to I keep asking, I said, let me come back just for a little while, even a day, whatever, just because I got kind of bored of not, because I'm a person, I'm always doing something active. I can't lie around. So once I feel better, I'm going, which could be to my detriment also. So anyhow, I had to get a letter from my specialist saying that I could come back. I think it was half an hour. No, sorry. I think an hour or so, an hour and a half for 2 days or something, and it gradually increased it and increased it. And so the doctor at Bell agreed with what the specialist said, that I could come back an hour and a half, an hour a day, and then so forth. And they add it up and increase it more and more. And so eventually I was able to go back to Bell. Yeah, but I still had vision problems though. I couldn't see well, so I was on the computer at Bell, and I couldn't see because my work was, I had to use computer, and glasses couldn't help me because it wasn't something it was an autoimmune disease. So the doctor said glasses cannot correct an autoimmune disease. So I remember I was going back to work and had a lot of difficulties trying to stay at the thing and could not see well. So yes, so I am grateful for what God has done, because again, He performed a miracle. And what happened after that is that God again, He intervened again. Why He would do it, I wouldn't know. I don't deserve anything from Him, but as the Bible says, death for sin, because we all have sinned and come short of the glory, and all I deserve is death. But He has such love and compassion in me. Won't He have the same for you? Yes, He's the same God. So anyhow, what happened is that when I went back to work, as I said, I had difficulty seeing and so forth and stuff, and I couldn't really do my work, but I didn't want to say anything. And it so happened that while I was there, I was back, I think back for maybe a year. I was up for 5 years, but then I went back for maybe a year and a half. And then Bell was given a package for those people who had certain years service. For them, they don't care if you're 40 something. Once you have the years, like a girl started when she was, I think, 17, and she had 30 years service, so she went at 46. So they look at the age and your years of service. And if it add up to a certain amount, you can go. So I remember one of the girls went at 46. So anyhow, I was saying, no, I cannot take it. I cannot retire, because here I missed 5 years of working. And also too, we didn't have much money as our family. We just had to, we were just careful and wasn't spending, and I was going any place on holidays. I never went to the hairdresser. All these things I've never done, because trying to pay for this house, and then in the middle of it, I got sick. So anyhow, what happened is that when they offered this, I said, no, I can't take this, because I just get back after 5 years being off without income, just getting a little disability money from Bell. And then after a while, actually, it was cut off. They could only give it to you for a while. They don't give it for all the time. And then what happened is that one day I got $100 and something. I can't remember the exact, but it was $100 and something. And I was shocked. It came the mail from Bell. I said, what can I do that? I have mortgage, so, food to buy for children, whatever. How could I do it? Because Bell said that's it, the money run out for my disability, and that's the last check. That's what's left, $100 million they sent me. Well, you could imagine I was blown away. What to do now? You're already sick and all that, well, then you have the financial stuff. But God is good as always. So anyhow, as I said to you, they mentioned this package. And I was saying to myself, I can't take it because I need to work a little longer. And then also I must mention to you too that they had that also too, when I was off, Bell had given me some stocks and I had to sell them all, of course, because I didn't have income. I sold my stocks, my Bell shares, so that I could be able to keep living and keep paying bills and for us to keep eating and for the children and so on and so forth. So could you imagine my exhibition? It didn't look good. That I should go and retire now when I just get back after 5 years not working and trying to build back things and pay up bills and debts that we had and all that, help to pay up bills and debts. And now I must go off. It didn't make sense to me. But I remember organizing with it and thinking about it and praying about it in my mind and going it over it. And they didn't give you much time to think about it. They kind of push you. They said they have a deadline. Well, I guess they wanted to make up your mind fast. And even in them pushing me to make up my mind, I know it was a blessing. Why? I didn't know it at the time, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know it at the time. But I realized it was a blessing because it made me make up my mind quickly. And just about 2 days, no sorry, it was a day before the deadline, I decided to send my, to take the offer for the retirement. And I sent it to the office in Montreal. And I just got it to tell them that I am going to take it, going to take this offer they'll give me. And to be honest with you, I didn't think I had faith, but in looking back, sometimes you do things and you don't know, you don't think it's faith, but looking back I realized that because things were not good for us financially in the home. And so I just went back to work and figured, I will just work for a while. But I say, you know what, Lord? My health is very important. And you have brought me out of this. I could have been dead anyway, and the job wouldn't matter if you're dead. It doesn't matter if you die. If you have a job, if you're dead, you can't have a job if you die anyway. So I said, I don't know how we're going to do it, but somehow it's going to work out. And to tell the truth, I did not know how. I'll be honest with you. And I don't have any faith more than nobody else, okay? I don't. So I must be honest with you, I don't have faith more than anybody else. But I said, somehow it's going to work out. Somehow it's going to work out. So I took the package and I retired because I realized I cannot keep trying to work but can't see well and having a lot of problem with my eyes, and the work was getting too difficult and stressful when you cannot see what you're doing, and I was making a lot of mistakes and stuff. I said, no, I can't go that route. Yeah. But looking back, it was the best thing happened to me. That's why I just have to go by faith. And God is the one that gives you faith, because I know I wouldn't have no faith. Because looking back, I realized it was a blessing. I realized that very soon after it was a blessing. Why? Because Bell has never given. I didn't know at the time. Bell has never given anyone a package like us. They give us medical coverage. They give us some money, and then they give us a pension because they wanted people to go. So the CEO of the company, we had several CEOs of the company, no Bell's a big company, we had several CEOs. They wanted us to take the package. So when they want to do something, they give you a motivation. They have never done that because people who retired after, they got no medical coverage. They got a pension. Some of them didn't get more pension because they worked long. The longer you work, the more pension you get. But they never get some of the perks that we got. So it just shows you how God is so wonderful. That how can I not be faithful to a God like that? How could I not be? Even when I wasn't following him, he still was running after me. How could I let him down? I can't. So that's what happened to me there, and I retired. As I'm just going to remind you that I told my previous that I was diagnosed with myasthenia gravis, an autoimmune disease, where the doctor put it simply, he said the body is attacking itself. The body is attacking itself. But later, as I researched it, I realized what happens is that the antibodies in my body were attacking the receptors in my body. And so that's why the muscles the muscle just fall apart. I couldn't hold anything, man, not even a little piece of paper. Couldn't hold a spoon to drink anything. Could not feed myself. And of course the muscles all go because you can't walk, everything's affected. Your sight, your speech, everything's affected. But I was at this time, I was off because I was off sick from the company I worked for, Bell Canada. And I was recuperating from the illness. And so one day I said, I have to walk. I know walking was the issue, I couldn't walk. And I said, I have to walk, I have to go. I said, Lord, I have to walk, I have to walk. So I'm the kind of person I always push myself, even now at this age, I always push myself to the limit, which could be bad at times too. I have to have temperance, that's what I'm praying for, temperance. But nevertheless, I decided to go and take a walk. I'm tired just being in the house, can't move around, can't do much. I couldn't walk much. But I figured I'd push myself today. And I decided to walk down the street. I lived in Markham at that time, so I decided to walk down Markham Road. And I kept going, and a song kept coming to my mind. Great is thy faithfulness. And I learned that song, Lord, I could recite it by heart. Because that's the song I was singing. Great is thy faithfulness, O God my Father. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, your hands have provided. Great is your faithfulness, Lord, unto me. And I learned, the whole verses I learned because of the situation. I learned that song, the whole song. And anyhow, I was walking, and as I reached to Steele's, I said, you know what, I pushed myself enough. Let me go back, walk back home. And I could not walk. My muscles, I just couldn't move my leg. Could not go back. And I didn't have a phone to call anyone to come and get me. And so where I was just in the day, and I just was praying that God give me enough strength so I can at least walk back. And He did. And this just show you, this testimony is just not about me and my life. Yes, it's the testimony about your life, but what I'm trying to let everyone focus on, and I hope you focus in, is how in the darkest hour and in time of need, God's there for you. And so I prayed, and I kept singing that song, Great is thy faithfulness. So that song doesn't have the same meaning to me that it had before that situation. Because it was a song, yes, great is thy faithfulness, Lord my Father. You sing it, but I live it. Not as why the Bible said you will overcome the enemy, Satan, by the blood of the Lamb and our testimony. Because you could read the song, you could sing the song, you could read the Bible. Until you experience something, it's not the same. So anytime I hear that song, it touched my heart in a way that it never touched me before. So anyhow, as I prayed, I started taking steps back. I was tired and exhausted, like I wanted to collapse, but I kept going. And I reached home. I was able to reach home safely. And so it teaches me something, and I hope it encourages you and teaches whoever is looking at this video that with Christ all things are possible. We might say it, but we have to believe it. And I have a testimony to say with Christ all things are possible. I was able to get back home safely. So it's really, I decided that I will follow God no matter what. If I have to give up my mother and father did now, but sisters and brothers, children, because I have 3 kids, 2 daughters and a son. Son is the last. And I said I determined to give up anyone for Jesus, because I realized that no one can love you like Jesus. No one cares for you like Jesus. Even when you leave Him, He still loves you and keep wooing you back to Him. People, if you don't do what they want, they want to punish you. They cut you off. That's it for you. Not Jesus. Not sweet Jesus. No matter what, He is there for us. Not that we must continue to do wrong. Once we make a mistake in life, we need to confess, and by His power, turn away from it. Doesn't mean because Jesus loves us and He's merciful, we must keep doing wrong. No, that's presumptuous wrongdoing. And another incident I want to share with you is after a few years of recovering, I decided to go, because I wasn't going to the doctors anymore, because they want this medication to me to take, because I'm taking Mestinon and prednisone. And I began, as I said, to take the juice a lot. Carrots and beets and celery and watercress and those things, and an apple, always an apple in the juice. And every day I would make this juice. It was very laborious because they had to clean, the ones that I had, they had to clean the juice every day. So it was a little annoying, but you know what? Your health is good, because when you're in a sick bed, you'll do anything, you'll pay any money, you'll sell your home, you'll do it, take all the money in the bank to get health. So do it before you get sick. So anyhow, that's what happened, and I decided to go to see Dr. Vera Brill. She, don't know if she's still there now, she's in Toronto General. I just want to check up on myself because I wasn't going to the doctors. And I said, let me check to see if what's going with me, if I still have it sorted, because they said there's no cure for it. If you go online now and check up myasthenia gravis, M-Y-A-S, Maya, M-Y-A-S-T-H-E-N-I-A, gravis, G-R-A-V-I-S, you will see that there is no cure. The doctors don't even know what caused it really, the scientists, and they say there is no cure. If you check right now, wherever you are, you tell you no cure. So I decided to go to this doctor. I said, let me see this neurologist to check up to see how things are going in my body, because I wasn't checking up at all on it. I was just eating the way I was supposed to eat, the best I can, and trying to take care of my body, and I said juicing every day and all that. And so when I went to her, she said to me, are you taking this medication? I said, doctor, no, I'm not taking it. I said, she said, well, why are you making it? How are you able to doing so good? I said, because I give my life to Christ, that's number one. Because without Christ, all the things you're doing is just a waste of time, it's in vain. So I said, and I changed my diet at all. I said, change my lifestyle. I realized now, I didn't think about it then, that I'm a weakness to her by even telling her that. She said, okay. And she listened to what I was telling her. And then she kept doing this test where they put, I forgot the name of the test now, where they put these wires, by your ear and in your body, all around your body, and they want to test. There's a name they call electro something. I can't think of the name now. Maybe you could check it out if you care to know. And to test the nerves and all that. That will tell them, because remember I said that the sickness comes from the antibodies in my body, or anybody who have the disease body, attacking the receptors in your body. And she keep doing the tests and tests. And then she keep asking me, she said to me, are you sure you're not taking the medication, the Mestinon? And the thing, I said, no, I've stopped it for quite a few years. And she looked at me, and she do the test again. And I said to myself, oh, maybe something is going on in my body. Maybe something is going on, getting me lapse, or something, things getting bad. Then she called and one of her doctors, one of the doctors that she worked with, colleagues. And he came and he did the test. I guess she didn't trust what she was seeing. I didn't know. At the time I thought something's bad news. But now I realize, after the time I realized, she brought him to test and do the same test she did. She did it over and over again. And then he asked me the same thing. It was a little annoying after a while. It was a little annoying. He asked me the same thing. Are you taking the medication? Are you on medication? I said, no, doctor, I am not on any medication. I stopped this Mestinon and prednisone years ago. He said, okay. And then after the test, he looked at her and she looked at him. After several tests, move on over. Because I guess they themselves didn't, I didn't know the time it was going. As I said, it was something bad news. But in hindsight, after the fact, I realized it was good news and they didn't want to believe it or accept it. because they in the field as neurologists know this illness is a very serious illness. It's deadly, it has killed people. So then all of a sudden she said to me, she's a very serious doctor, neurologist. She's very stern and very serious. She don't laugh or anything. She just do her work, you know. She has a lot to do with another patient playing her, so she very serious. And all of a sudden she said to me, it is gone. It is gone? Yeah. It is gone. So all I told her, I said, praise God. And she looked at me. I don't know if she's a believer, because usually if a believer, she say, yes, praise God. But she did not respond to my praise God. But nevertheless, she hugged me. She hugged me. Never, very cold lady. I shouldn't say cold. She's just very serious, and I guess, you know, has a lot to do in her field because she's one of the top neurologists. So she has a lot going on in her life, and, you know, taking care of patients and stuff. She hugged me, a close hug. So I was hoping after that, I said, Lord, may I be a witness to her that what man cannot do with all their knowledge and science, the great physician Jesus has done. So I came out of her office, the room where she had doing the test room, and I walked out of the room, and there was people out in the hallway waiting to see her, to do the same test, I guess, because they have some sickness. And I just told, my daughter was outside waiting for me, because she had brought me there to this place to get this test. To see the doctor, not the test, but to see the doctor to see what was going on, because years I haven't gone, to know what's going on with me. And I told her, and she said, what did the doctor say? Because I guess she's concerned too, when one was going on. I said, the doctor said, it is gone. And I said so loud, and praise God. And the patients all outside waiting to go into a watch at me. I don't know what they were thinking, if she's crazy or what. I can't say because I can't read their mind, but they look at me wondering, what am I talking about? So when I told my daughter, she said to me, Mom, go back in and ask the doctor. She said, are you sure the doctor told you it's gone? Because doctors usually say something is in remission. They never say gone, especially for something that they have no cure for, or they don't even understand. They said up to this day, they don't understand how you get myasthenia gravis. So I said to her, when she told me, she said, Mom, go back and ask the doctor. Right in front of the patients outside, because I was in the hallway out there. I said, my daughter, O ye of little faith. I said, I'm not going to ask the doctor no more question. She said it's gone, and I believe it's gone. And so we went home together. So I'm sharing this with you to let you know again how God has come through. He came through when I was walking down that plane. I figured I couldn't go. Well, not I figured my body would not go. It's just the sickness, just the muscles just get weak. You can't move it. And also with the doctor situation with Dr. Grigoriy, the neurologist, to show you that what God can do, what man can do, God can do. And to teach you, and to teach myself, because I'm still learning. I'm not where I should be yet. I'm still learning. That we go through these decisions in life. Sometimes we make choices in life. Sometimes we didn't make no bad choice. Just people around us harm us. But whatever the reason is, God always comes through for us if we humble ourselves to Him. And if I didn't have that, I would be put not to have the sickness, to tell you the truth, because it was not a nice time. No. Maybe deathbed experience in the emergency room, no. I would not tell anybody that I would like to have that. I would prefer not to have it. But I realize that if I did not have such a serious illness, there'd be nothing to testify to you about. My life would be like everybody's life, just go along living and that's it. So, going through that, and when we go through troubles, we were going through troubles, sometimes we question, we're human beings, we wonder, God, what's going on with me? But realize that you're special. After when you're going through stuff, you are special. God allows you to go through because He knows how much you can bear, and He wants to prepare you to testify of Him. Because people might not believe the Bible. They will say the Bible was written, was changed and all kind of stuff. They will say people have said that, people talk that thing all the way. The Bible is changed and all sorts of things, especially the King James Version. They say that didn't change, it changed. But they cannot argue with your life experience. So I realized at the time I didn't know, I'll tell you the truth, I didn't know. But in hindsight now, as I'm here, I realized God was preparing me for a testimony. And I had no idea that I would tell this testimony, because it's not easy to show your dirty linens and let people know all the stuff that happened in your life and what you went through. Most people want to keep things to themselves and don't want people to know. So for me to do this, where it's not long ago you could tell a testimony in a church or you tell a friend a testimony. But to do a testimony online like YouTube like this is global. And I would have been hesitant to even tell a few people. In fact, many of my friends, if they should see this video, they would just go berserk. Why? Because they never knew those things happened. They hear I was sick, but they didn't know Blow Bible experience. So in all this testimony, I asked God to let me keep focus. That is not about me. Yes, I have to share my life, but I want it to be about God and His love for us and how He'll go to the uttermost to save us. So I pray all the time before I give this testimony. So to remind myself to keep focus. Not about Lorna, not about Lorna. It's about you, God. So I just want to encourage you wherever you are, whatever you're going through now, and I know the world is getting more evil. Sometimes in situations where you feel no way out, you didn't choose to be in that situation, but circumstances of life put you in a situation where you figure there's no hope. No hope, no hope. I want to tell you, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up on life. Don't give up on Jesus. Know that after the storm, the sun will shine again. I know it's hard sometimes when you're going through stuff to believe the sun will shine again, because you can't see no sun, all you see is darkness and a hole, a deep hole, dark hole. But I'm here to tell you that there is hope. I'm a living testimony of what God can do if you allow Him to. You have to allow Him. He wouldn't force you, never force you. You have to open yourself to Him, and He will come in and He will do a mighty work in your life.
Thanks for joining us today. I do hope that you received blessings from this segment of Friday Testimony. Please join us next week as we deliver another compelling testimony from one of our guests and viewers. God bless.